The Nobel Prizes are the Oscars of science, making waves not only in the scientific community, but the lay community as well. Everyone knows there are unofficial rules to adhere to if you want to win an Oscar. Are there similar rules for the Nobels? We asked a Nobel predictor and one of the pickers for a prize, the winners of which tend to win Nobels, to give us the skinny on the non-scientific factors that go into picking the winner of a science prize. The predictions: it's been interesting experience, trying to get scientists to comment on the politics of the Nobel Prizes. Most simply don't answer. Some seem alarmed at the question. One turns down the offer because they were so upset about the winners of this year's prize, and just wanted to detach from the process. A few send back responses that were extremely short, and can best be classified as diplomatic to the point of uselessness. People are happy to predict the prizes. Reuters puts out a list every year, based mainly on the number of citations a scientist's work is given in other scientific papers. Scientists are quick to publicly air humorous ideas about what makes a Nobel laureate. In 2012, Dr. Franz Messerli made headlines everywhere when he published a correlation between a country's chocolate consumption and likelihood of growing Nobel laureates. More chocolate, more prizes. But ask about the actual wheeling and dealing in terms of the Nobels and people get nervous. I learned one thing: if you want to get the dish on the Nobel Prizes, go to Paul Bracker. Bracker is a professor at St. Louis University, the brains behind the blog Kimbark, and has been publicly predicting the odds of who will win each year's Nobels for a decade. He was happy to talk to me, but not nearly as happy as I was to have someone talking to me. The inside scoop: imagine my disappointment when the deep dark secrets of the Nobels are not so scandalous. What scandals there are exist more because of the structure of the prizes than anything else. These days chemists, Bracker's colleagues, feel that they're getting the short end of the stick. He mentions that there is a feeling in some areas of the chemistry community that biologists are stealing the prize. Lately the Nobels have been favoring areas like molecular biology or structural biology. Are the Nobels favoring biologists over chemists? Not really, says Bracker. The problem is, there is no biology prize. Biology, as a science, was limited back when the Nobels were first announced. Since then there has been an explosion of research, and some of that research has led scientists to look at smaller and smaller aspects of a biological entity. The line between biology and chemistry has blurred, but this has led to two nominally different sciences muscling for one highly publicized prize. I ask Bracker if he thinks there is anything of a cyclical element to the prizes. If a specific area, like neuroscience, receives the prize for medicine one year, is it cardiology's turn the next year? I don't think so, he says. Sometimes they mix it up, and sometimes it goes to the same discipline 3 or 4 years in a row. Okay, I ask. Let's say I make it my one goal in life to get a Nobel Prize. What should I do? Are there hot areas of science, which tend to get attention from the committee more than other areas? How about areas in which great scientists languish unknown, because their course of study isn't trendy? Bracker's advice is to find a new instrument or a new technique, and work with it like crazy. But, he cautions, this is just the natural flow of science. Every new technology allows scientists to break new ground, and explore areas no one was aware even existed. Eventually, though, this new ground gets picked over, and anyone wanting to make a splash has to find a new frontier. When the Nobel Prizes were first established, Bracker says, the secrets of the atom were still being unlocked and nuclear chemistry was all the rage. That's not the case anymore, and anyone working purely for a Nobel needs to go where the new discoveries are. Then they have to wait. One trend that Bracker acknowledges is that pretty young things don't tend to get the prize anymore. It generally goes to older scientists. I thought this might be because a Nobel Prize is never given posthumously. For good reason. Leaving aside the issue of the prize money, the Nobel Prizes would hardly be relevant if the prize for physics went to Newton every year. Given a choice between a 38-year-old and an 83-year-old, The committee would naturally feel pressure to acknowledge an older person's achievement before it's too late. Bracker disagrees. "I don't think it works like that." He believes that winners are getting older, because the Nobels are not just a prize, they're posterity. The committee wants to see if a discovery is robust, he says, before they select a winner. The snubs to show that age doesn't really affect who gets the prize, he mentions.